Welcome to I Got a Guy podcast, a podcast carefully designed to introduce a wide range of very talented and highly skilled professionals ready to share their knowledge and advice with you. Please welcome the host of I Got a Guy podcast, Michael Drelichars. Welcome to I Got a Guy podcast. I'm your host, Michael Drelichars. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate our loyal subscribers each and every week. We know you're getting great information from all of our guests that we have each week, and we really try to vary our guests regularly so it's not the same industry or down the same vein each time. I always want to be different, and I know we've had some really awesome guests and lots of different industry segments, so we really appreciate that. If you've missed any of our past episodes, I encourage you to go to igotaguypodcast.com. That's igotaguypodcast.com. See a list of all our episodes, a short synopsis of each one of our episodes with the name of our guest, their business, a way to reach our guests, and you can see all of them and listen to whichever ones you want. Love if you listen to all of them, but listen to them whichever order you want to. Now we do publish our episodes not only on all of the audio platforms, but also on video platforms, including YouTube and Rumble. So if you want to watch our podcast, which is growing in popularity, you can go to YouTube and you can get the link right off our website at I Got a Guy Podcast. Click on it on the YouTube link or the Rumble link and watch the podcast. You'll hear the same information and you'll see us as well. So thank you for doing that. And if anybody would like to be a guest on I Got a Guy podcast, I encourage you to reach out to us. There is a contact tab on our website, and you can fill it out, put your information in there, send it over, and we'll have a conversation, see how we can get you into the schedule to be a future guest. So love to always bring on new small business owners, small business participants. Sometimes they're salespeople. It really varies. Sometimes the guests talk about their hobbies and their side hustles. So happy to have anybody on here who want to talk about what you're passionate about. So as you know, this podcast was born out of reading a book called The Go-Giver. And if you happen to be a small business owner, you know how important networking is to small businesses. Networking is a critical area of importance. But one of the misnomers about networking is all about getting referrals. Well, the reality is networking is about giving referrals. And the book, The Go-Giver, talks about that in great detail with 5 really amazing stories. And in fact, they broke these stories down and they identify 5 laws of stratospheric success. And if you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. I do try to highlight one of these laws each week with a guest. And the law I wanted to focus on today for this week's guest is the law of value. And it's defined by give more in value than you receive in payment. Give more in value than you receive in payment. And I think when you get to know our guest this week, you're going to see how that really is highlighted by what she does and how she serves her clients, her partners. So let's shift now into meeting our guest. Our guest this week is Nicole Paez from Bulldog Cartage. Bulldog Cartage is a young company. Nicole's going to tell us all about that, but you're going to see how much value she delivers to her clients. Nicole, thank you so much for being a guest this week.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be able to describe my position at Bulldog and exactly how we're able to assist all of our clients. So thank you so much. I appreciate
That's
being
great.
here and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about Bulldog Cartage. Tell us. I know you're a relatively young company. You've born out of Porter Pipe. Let's tell us a little bit about the history and how you got started. How the company got started.
So we are an entity of the Porter family companies, and we were born actually in the Porter Pipe and Supply warehouse in 2012. So that's why we are still very young, but we are growing rapidly, as well
Sure.
as Porter Pipe and Supply. So basically, we were birthed by helping out clients of Porter Pipe and Supply, and so that's why it's essential, to describe that Porter Pipe and Supply has been around since the 1970s, and they're a great family to work for, and they are just the way that they are able to help clients to provide the services that we provide. So Bulldog Cartage is, basically we make a very huge impact into the mechanical industry, as well as electrical, but it's not what we're limited to. We have the equipment and the team to be able to handle various pickups and deliveries and everything like this. We have a storage facility, indoor and outdoor, of climate controlled, up to 350,000 square feet of storage currently, and that is growing. So
That's great. Yeah, I love the fact that that Bulldog Cartage was born out of necessity. Somebody,
yes,
one of the executives, saw a need and said, "Gee, we can help our clients in another way." And so you have a fleet of trucks, and you actually deliver heavy equipment to job sites, essentially, right? That's
yes.
that's a big part. I know you do a few things, but that's a big part of what you do.
Yes. So essentially, porter pipe and supply, and our question is always, how can we help our clients? So, you know, Jim Porter, Bud Porter, Nick Porter, and Ralph Strusky, who's our project manager, we're all co-founders of Bulldog Cartage. And so the reason why Bulldog Cartage is called Bulldog Cartage is because one of the logos, and I'll show you here today, one of the logos of Porter Pipe and Supply is actually a bulldog.
Oh yeah, great.
So this is basically, why Bulldog Cartage is called Bulldog Cartage. And
Great.
we do
Yeah,
not haul pipe for Porter Pipe. Porter Pipe has all of their own fleet and everything like this that they
sure.
handle. They have their own trucks. I think out of the Edison office right now, they're running about 53 trucks a day out of that office. So their trucking fleet is completely different than what we handle at Bulldog Cartage.
Sure.
So basically with that said, we have a fleet of flatbeds, step decks, double drops. We have a stake bed even that handles smaller equipment as well with a lift gate. So we handle various types of equipment, whether it's HVAC, electrical, whether it's something going to a trade show, or just essentially a small crate box that's going in our stake bed that needs a lift gate delivery, that's going to a warehouse, or something that's just going to a job site.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah.
So for a company that has a one-off need, or a very rare need to move a really big piece of equipment, obviously you're not going to buy a truck just to move one piece of equipment, and it's probably not easy to rent a truck like that. So to hire Bulldog Cartage to move that piece of equipment to a new
Yeah,
building, if
so
we're
we
going to put
do
a new
handle,
HVAC.
exactly. So we do handle just the pickups and the deliveries of something
Mhm.
like this. But what's been an essential part of our business is the storage aspect. So being able to assist in that supply and demand chain, or be able to assist in that, being able to make sure that the equipment comes to the job site undamaged. So, for example, the equipment will come to our warehouse, we'll inspect it. Our riggers and our receivers, they take photos of the equipment, so our clients are able to see the equipment as it arrives and everything like this. So, I mean, that's so important to the project managers that we work with, so that they can see the equipment and know, okay, great, the equipment arrived undamaged, and they'll know that it will get to the job site undamaged, and don't have to worry about the timeline. When these huge cranes are being set up on the job site, they're quite a pretty penny. So when you're waiting for this equipment, and then you have all these guys standing around waiting for it, and it doesn't show up on time, it causes a little issue to the wallet on that aspect of, okay,
Well, sure,
where's the
sure, and
equipment, and whether it comes undamaged, so
well, you got a couple factors there. First of all, there's always unexpected delays, and when you're working on a building project where there's so many different moving parts to it, for that equipment to know that equipment was going to be on site on time because it was shipped early to your warehouse, where not only you inspect it, so if it was damaged, you can get it resolved before it needs to be installed, but then you can get it out
yes.
of the elements, put it in storage, and have it ready. So if the project manager says, okay, it needs to be here on Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m., because that equipment is sitting in your warehouse for maybe a few days, a week, a month, you can schedule to have it delivered on time, coordinate with the
Yes.
crane operator to be there at that time. So you pull up, they hook it up, and they put it, and it just keeps the process going. So, like you said, the engineers, the construction workers, they're all expensive individuals. You got a lot of equipment sitting there that may be rented, and that's expensive. And time is money. So
Yes.
that I can see that
Also,
being such a. I'm sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
also another aspect too of the on-time deliveries was last month I just had my first experience of a helicopter lift downtown Chicago. And that
Really,
was by far one of the best experiences I think I've had yet here at Bulldog Cartage. Just, seeing all these guys getting ready to for this anticipated helicopter to come and this lift and the pressure and just hearing the motivation of and the calmness of hearing everybody talking about, okay, this is what's happening today, and just everybody just ready to take on this huge task of rigging these huge equipments. There are seven helicopter picks from our Bulldog trucks right in a parking lot downtown Chicago that went to 10 East Ontario. Yeah, so I mean that was a huge. I mean, it was just great. I mean, I
it's an
just
awesome
the
project.
experience was it was the hugest helicopter I've seen up close and personal. And I used to work at a restaurant attached to the Schaumburg Airport, and I've seen many helicopters. I don't know if you're familiar with Pilot Pete's or not, but that's a
Yes,
great
I love
restaurant.
that place.
I love
It's a
going
great
there. Yeah.
restaurant.
So, and I've been in several helicopters. I've seen helicopters up close and personal, but this helicopter by far just blew my mind, and the capabilities of it, just being able to lift these huge units off of our truck. I mean, it made our
So,
trucks look puny. It made this equipment
so,
look puny because it just
so
lifted
your
them up like
drivers,
nothing. It was great.
sure, sure. So your drivers pull the truck up. They arrive at, you said what, 10, was it 10 West Ontario?
Well, no. Well, so the crane picks are never on the street. The crane picks are usually, or crane picks, not the crane picks. The helicopter picks are usually in an open uh, parking lot,
Okay,
because the
yeah, you need a little
helicopter
bit more
actually
room.
has to
Of course,
lower
of
in
course,
between
sure.
the skyscrapers. It's too difficult for them to get in between
Yeah, no,
in
no,
between
no
the
doubt.
buildings and everything. So, and
You're
usually
right.
it's similar parking lots that they usually it's the same parking lots that they're picking from, that they're doing these
Yeah.
lifts from. So
So you
at
bring
least if it's not just
your
the one parking lot.
right, but you bring the equipment in on the truck, and then they bring in the helicopter flies over, and they drop down the cables, and somebody's on the ground to hook everything up and secure it. So
Yes.
it's had to be
Yes,
a lengthy process to hook all
it's so
hook the apparatus up.
yes. I mean, honestly, it was very interesting, and it was for me, for it being the first helicopter lift. Our project manager Ralph Strusky goes, just make sure that you are very planted in your feet, because it's going to knock you around. And I mean, I thought, okay, I got this, all right. But when it came down, I mean, all the dirt and everything just went. I was like, whoa, all right, this is really intense. I mean, it was like I probably needed earplugs too. I mean, and they require you to wear all the safety gear, the
Sure,
helmet, and
of course.
the safety glasses and everything like that, just for the safety reasons, being that close to all of this. But the pressure that I think that these guys felt was just absolutely like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah,
and some of the construction sites, actually, I never even knew this. So I actually try to go out to job sites once a week for our deliveries, whether it's one of my clients or one of Bulldog Cartage clients, and
sure.
just make an
You learn.
appearance. And whether it's just passing out little stickers like this. So in the
Right.
construction sites, depending on the trade, sometimes the guys like to put the stickers on their helmets. So if you ever go
Sure.
to a construction site and you see the guys, you'll see they have a bunch of stickers on their helmets, and you might see one of these on there. So
Bulldog Cartage
so
sticker.
yeah,
Sure.
so
Very
yeah,
cool.
so they
Well,
really enjoy that, or even like the Porter Pipe and Supply stickers as well. So
yeah,
yeah,
but it's great to be part of part of a bigger project, and to watch it
yes,
all come to fruition. and have the success at the end of the day, knowing that you contributed in this solution, and that's awesome. I'm happy for you to get that experience, and knowing that Bulldog Cartage can move this heavy equipment and get the project going. So
Yes,
you
yes,
so
yes.
so you move big like HVAC mechanical equipment to job sites, and you coordinate with the
Yes, but
cranes. You do the storage. You
that's
do the
not
storage of
only,
equipment.
so that's not only what we store. So like just for example, within our warehouse, 350,000 square feet is a lot of storage. It's not all just electrical and mechanical equipment. We also handle glazing, and which glazing is glass. We also handle
Yeah,
even underground um, tubing or pipe or different things like that go into the plumbing project. So we deal with plumbers
sure,
as well. Trade show storage we handle as well. We also handle storage for the packing industry, the food industry. Mechanical is just basically kind of where we started, right? That's just kind of where we started. So it's because we have all this equipment within our headquarters. We have two overhead bay cranes. So one that can handle up to 80,000 pounds, and then one that can handle up to 40,000 pounds. So that's just where we're receiving at one warehouse. In our other warehouses, we're also receiving, we have different types of equipment, just different forklifts. So at each of our warehouses, we handle different receiving. So depending on what our
sure.
clients are sending to us, it gets directed within our
It's a certain
office. So
warehouse.
we have so they contact Donna, who is our administrator, and so she kind of regulates the scheduling of where everything kind of goes based on what it is, and everything like that. And then we have an inventory specialist that handles the scheduling of getting it scheduled, and emailing our clients on what the equipment that was received, what the purchase order that it's for, what job it's for, because some of our clients, we are handling different types of different
Sure,
jobs for them and different POs. So it's very important. And, both of their positions are just very important in our process of what we do and our rigors and everything like that. I mean, it's very enjoyable for me to sell what Bulldog services are, because everybody is very intricate on their positions on the impact that they make, and everything like that. So
sure. Well, and when you're talking about this equipment or just the materials, um, it's very expensive. It's large, and so accuracy is important. We're not talking
yes,
about a bag of potato chips. We're talking about something really critical, and so you have to have that back office staff lined up and trained and in control of everything, so everything runs smoothly because it takes the stress out of it. Otherwise, it becomes chaos, right? So
yes.
it
So we
makes a lot of
also
sense.
we also handle, so a lot of the types of projects. So we deal with mom and pop shops, right? And then that's what makes Bulldog so unique, is that we do deal with the mom and pop shops that we'll buy in bulk and we'll store for them, and then as they need the equipment, they could come and pick it up as they need it, or we can bring it to the job site depending on what their availability is for their own trucks. Because a lot of our clients, they do have their own equipment, they do have their own trucks, and some of them maybe they don't. But so it's amazing because we still handle a mom and pop the same way that we handle an $8 billion producer general contractor, right?
Sure,
So we handle every client the same. They get the same treatment as their equipment is being received and everything like that, and they get the same treatment from all of our team members and our drivers when they come out to the delivery sites. So
great. So when you talk about these mom and pop shops, these are smaller, like plumbing operations or construction companies.
so construction companies, or different types of smaller end manufacturers, whether it's sending a skid up to Madison, or sending a skid down to Indianapolis or something like this. We
Okay.
normally don't do LTLs. That's not what we specialize in. But for our clients, we would be able to handle something specific that they would
Sure.
want, that they know is going to be going on a crane pick, and they need that flatbed and know that it needs to arrive there undamaged. And not
Sure.
everything you can entrust in the LTL system and in logistics. So that's what kind of
Right.
separates Bulldog Cartage in the logistics and construction industry, because of like you mentioned, the value. Right, we understand that what we're storing and what we're handling is very valuable to our clients. Right, it's essential
It,
for their timelines and everything like that. And you mentioned something about critical, right? So we actually have a division we call the critical projects division in Bulldog Cartage. And so we do handle the storage and the delivery to several of the data centers that are within the Midwest region. And so that is one of the impact reasons of why Bulldog Cartage is going to be expanding to Indianapolis before the end of the year. So
great.
that's a huge, yeah. So they're just, we're able to be very helpful and be that solution and make that impact of the projects that our clients are dealing with. So
Yeah, well, and I know it's been a big area of growth for many years now, but data centers continue to be a big source of growth because even though computer equipment keeps getting smaller and smaller and more dense, um, there's so much cloud storage needs for so many different corporations, and so these data centers are huge data centers. They have a lot of equipment, a
yeah,
lot of cooling equipment, and
yes,
and I can see how for that market segment, that's real vital to have that
yes,
information, that the material handy, and it seems like you treat it differently than a typical uh, carrier. It's not just another load of stuff. This is
right,
specific merchandise for your clients, and it's much more personalized.
yes. It is
So that's
very
great.
personalized, especially just being able to make the connections that I've had here at Bulldog, and learning from various clients that have been dealing with Bulldog for several years. And it's kind of funny because they almost sell Bulldog to me, when I ask them how their experience is and everything, and they could just go on and on for a very long time about different experiences that they've had, and how Bulldog has made such a huge impact to them and their project line, their project uh
Sure.
timelines and everything like this.
Sure.
It really is, it really is amazing to be able to feel like we make that huge impact, and that's important to me,
That's
and
great.
being able to selling that service and that solution.
Great. Nicole, we're going to take a quick break here and then come back. I want to talk a little bit more about some of your successes and how some companies can get a hold of you and realize the benefits that you're offering to your clients today. I hope in an effort
Okay.
to add a few more clients to your deck. Um, so before we take the break, though, can you share with us your phone number and your email address or whatever, however you best want to be contacted by somebody listening to this episode wanting to reach out to you?
You can reach me on my cell phone, which is 331-343-1551. And my email
Okay.
address is Nicole, or excuse me, sorry, N Paez at bulldogcartage.com. So my email address is
NPAEZ.
NPAEZ at bulldogcartage.com.
Great. I'll have that information
Thank
in
you.
our show notes, and I'll have it on the screen for our viewers that are watching on YouTube and Rumble, so they can see that and they can reach out to you. And to our listeners, if you reach out to Nicole and you want to inquire more about her services and how Bulldog can help you, I really encourage you to let her know that you heard about it here on I Got a Guy podcast. It's a great way for us to know where our leads come from and where the value of the different marketing efforts that we all do to grow our business. So we'd love to know that you, our valuable listeners at I Got a Guy podcast, are reaching out to our guests and inquiring about their services. So let's stick with us. We're going to take a quick break from our sponsor, come back, and we'll continue our conversation here with Nicole from Bulldog Cartage. So be right back.
Thank you for listening to I Got a Guy podcast. I hope you're getting a lot of knowledge from this week's guest. But now a word from our sponsor. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions works with business owners that own commercial vehicles. We help these business owners enhance their growth and profit through the use of GPS tracking technology. Specifically, Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions is known for three key principles. First, we are very knowledgeable in the field of GPS tracking and working diligently to learn more every day. Second, we are accessible. We do not hide behind a toll-free number, and we do not have any overseas call centers. We know our clients personally, and we're extremely committed to serving all of our clients as we'd want to be served. And third, we are responsive. We deliver our GPS units promptly and work diligently to install as quickly as possible. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions is consistently striving to exceed our clients' expectations. You can learn more about Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions at precisefleettracking.com or call us at 847-865-6008. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. We make GPS tracking simple. Now, back to the show.
Okay, we are back. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Michael Drelichars, host of I Got a Guy podcast. We are here with Nicole Paez this week. We are talking with Nicole. She is part of the Bulldog Cartage team and had a really interesting conversation the first half of the show, talking all about Bulldog and how they serve their clients, storing and delivering and inventorying heavy equipment and large pallets of merchandise and supplies for a wide variety of companies, and then deliver them to job sites or other warehouses, etc. So, Nicole, thank you for being with us again today.
Thank you for having me, Michael.
So, so you've been with Bulldog here for several months, and so you're learning every day. You're meeting new clients and growing your knowledge and your experiences. I've been fortunate to connect with you on LinkedIn, and I've seen many of your successes. You do a great job, by the way, when you're on a job site and your Bulldog is delivering equipment, for example. You take a series of photographs. You tell a story on LinkedIn. So I think that's really awesome to share those successes. Tell us about. I mean, I know you talked about the helicopter delivery that was a new experience for you downtown Chicago. But tell us about any other experiences that you've had, maybe unique scenarios or really fascinating stories like the helicopter one.
So I try to go to a job site once a week, right? So there are some job sites that have crane picks at them, and they're very impressive. For me, when I first started going to the crane picks, I was just blown away. I mean, it was very interesting just to kind of see how the communication is between the whole operation, right? Where the truck has to be parked, how they have to block off the streets. I mean, it's a very unique process. They have the flaggers that have to put the posts out to block the traffic and everything like this. So it's actually a very interesting experience just to be able to pull up. And sometimes the flaggers are like, wait. And then I have to kind of say, wait, I'm with Bulldog. I'm here delivering coffee and, just trying to come say hi and, oh, okay, no worry. Oh, you brought coffee? Okay, come on. It's kind of comical when I show up. I'm like, oh, and sometimes when I show up, the mechanicals or the electric guys are, oh no, OSHA's here. It's very funny when I come up because some of them don't know me, right? And I'm normally in, slacks or jeans. I'm not in, construction gear, right? I mean, I have on my vest, my hat and everything like this, but they're like, oh, who is this? And then as soon as they see that I have the coffee, donuts, or pastries, or whatever, and I'm passing out the stickers, then they go, oh, okay, yeah, she's with Bulldog, and everybody's kind of, all on board with me being there. At first,
Sure.
It was kind of, intimidating for me because they go, "Who is this coming to the job site? OSHA's here. Uh-oh,"
Right. Right.
No, that's not me. I'm not coming here. I mean, everybody, every time I go to the job site, everybody's very safe and everything like this. And, there's
That's
certain
good.
areas that, they're very communicative, like don't go here, don't go there. I mean, it's a very, intricate process, and the project managers really do take things very seriously. I mean,
Yeah, it sounds
I
very
like
regimented.
to lighten them up, and they bring that positive vibes to the job sites, especially when it's early in the morning and everybody's there at 6, 7 a.m., sometimes
Sure.
5 a.m., depending on, the only 5 a.m. one that I've gone to was the one downtown for the helicopter pick. And so that was
Sure.
worth it.
Sure.
It was the best to get downtown and just no traffic.
Right. Right. No doubt. So these could take hours to complete then, right? When you're talking about blocking up the street and all
Yes.
the coordination that has to occur, right? Nobody moves quickly
Yes.
on this because you don't want to violate any safety, you don't want to cause any problems. So you're going to move
Right.
methodically but slowly and carefully. And these things are heavy, so
Yes.
obviously they're going to take a little time.
Yes, that's why it's so important. Our dispatcher is always in contact with the crane company that is going to be handling the lift and everything like that on situations, but especially, and even sometimes too, just going to regular like warehouse to warehouse delivery. If we're just delivering at a warehouse, it's always important to know and make sure the time that we're going to be arriving, that we're going to be able to be unloaded, right? Sometimes it requires a forklift, or it requires a crane, within the warehouse that needs to be able to offload us. And, we don't want our drivers to just be waiting, essentially for these different types of things. So that's why it's very important. Sometimes the deliveries will be moved back. Our driver's scheduled to be there at 7:30, but sometimes the crane won't be set up till 9. So then they'll push the delivery back a little bit, so our drivers just aren't just standing there taking up the road space.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Definitely, and and ultimately, time is money. So nobody wants to waste their time. There's plenty to do in every business, and to be efficient and be not standing around is really important. Um, but it sounds like your team at Bulldog work with the general contractors and the crane companies and a number of other parties to coordinate this. This is not a one person operation. This is a multi company, multi faceted kind of a process, right?
yes. So, and also we just partnered with a few different rigging companies in order for us to offer that service to our clients, in order for them to have us bring out the equipment, but also for them to, essentially just have us scheduling that rigging as well, so that they're not having to have another party that's scheduling that for them.
Okay, define rigging for us. What does that mean?
So that's basically okay. So we have riggers within our warehouse that will rig the equipment that we're receiving. So we'll offloading and reloading the equipment to our in within our warehouse. So those are our in-house warehouse riggers. But on the job sites, in order for the equipment to be set into the locations, we're able to partner with those rigging companies in order for us to set those that set the equipment into on the roofs or within the building or wherever it might be, so that we're able to be that one-stop shop basically for
Sure.
clients. And so so that was one of our successes that we've been able to meet about this past month and a half, and be able to offer that service and be able to provide that for our clients.
That's great. Well, it sounds like Bulldog is experiencing some really good growth. You mentioned briefly before the break about Indianapolis being an upcoming location for you. I know you're based in the Addison area. What other locations does Bulldog have today, and where do you see it going in the near term?
So currently going to Indianapolis, I think for the within the year, but essentially I see it growing further than that. But right now we have four locations: two in Addison and two in Itasca.
Okay.
So our warehouses, our main headquarters is located off Fullerton Avenue, behind the Addison Porter Pipe and Supply. And then we have another location off of Rowling Road in Addison. And then we have 2 warehouses in Itasca.
Okay.
If you're ever driving down 390, you can see one of our warehouses. It's right behind there. So
Okay. So all Chicago suburban based right now, but you deliver the merchandise in a multi-state area, correct?
yes, we do. We just
Tell us a little bit
increased our
about that.
radius this past year. We just increased our radius within the past year to 500 to 600 miles within the Chicagoland area. So we're able to
That's a pretty good
reach out
radius.
to, yes, yes, yes. So we've been able to, basically, it's very new. We just actually had a huge success with this past week. It was a client of mine that we were uh, hauling a Connects box on one of our step decks, which is one of our specialty trailers.
Hmm.
That Are you familiar with what a step deck is?
I've seen
It's
them, but I'm
basically,
not real familiar with all those trucks. But I'm
okay.
sure some of
So
our listeners
yeah,
don't know,
so
so if you can explain that, it'd be great.
So a step deck is basically, it's similar to a flatbed, but it comes down and it has a step in the back and step in the front. So it's flat in the middle, and then it kind of goes like this.
Yeah.
I guess.
So it's a little lower in the
So
center.
it's just yes, yes, yes. So it's just a little bit lower to the ground so that the height requirements for the roads and all the different things. So that's what makes, actually, this is what kind of makes it, I don't know if it's fun or what for our dispatcher, because now with all the different regulations, I mean, because with pulling permits, so we can handle up to, I think it's 56,000 pounds without having to pull a permit when we're hauling. Um, and then, anything that's over 102 inches wide, we have to pull the permits for. Now, this is all, regulated within the Illinois area. But then when you get to other states, sometimes there's different requirements as far as the axles and the
Oh,
different
right.
things and the different permits and everything like that. So it makes it kind of interesting, I guess, for our dispatcher, because he has to make sure that he's pulling all the proper permits and everything like that for us when we're hauling on these loads and everything. So I'm always in communication with our dispatcher, and he's so amazing. His name is Tom, and I just have to give him a shout out on here because he's always so amazing when I call him with, is this something too big that we can handle, or can we handle this? And also our project manager, Ralph, they're both honestly just amazing with just being able to be so, informative to me as I'm learning the process of exactly what
Sure.
we can handle, what we can't handle, and, what needs permits and what doesn't need permits, basically where it's going.
Sure.
So this past week, with our success of going to Carroll, Ohio, we picked up a Connects box on our step deck. And once everything was said and done, I received an email from our client saying that this was a excellent experience, and it was their first run with Bulldog Cartage. So for this, and it was, not only was it our first run with Bulldog Cartage, it was our first run going on that extended, going on that radius of what we just expanded to. So it was kind of 2 really great successes for us. And also a shout out to Chris, our driver, who made that trip happen. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So
And it sounds like and you mentioned earlier, Bulldog is a relatively young company, but it seems like
yes,
the the whole corporate culture is all about flexibility and serving the clients. So when there's a request, it sounds like you don't your first answer is not no. Your first answer is, well, let's figure it out. You come up with a way to solve it,
yes,
and that's remarkable. That's
100%.
great. That's a great way to grow a strong business, because you are serving the client's needs. You're not putting your needs first. You're putting the client's needs first.
Yes. And that is 100% to the T. I mean, the Porter family, I mean, that's basically why Bulldog Cartage kind of came about, was basically just to assist their clients and just to be
Yeah,
that type of partner for them, and everything like that. So, and Bulldog is growing so fast. I mean, so, it's really interesting to kind of see how things are panning out with it becoming the busy season, because I started in October, and construction, everything like that, is a little bit on the slower end of things, and everything. So, it's it's going to be interesting to see what's happening. Everybody's like, you don't know. It's going to be very busy, Nicole. It's going to be very busy. That's all they keep telling me. And I'm like, all right, let's
Yeah,
see. I'm excited because we have 2 new sales reps. So we have our sales team consists of Kevin Traver. He's our general manager. And then we have John Taylor, and he's been at Bulldog for 2 years. And then we have the other new sales rep, Nick Langton, and myself. So with our sales team, I'm really excited to see the potential growth with our expansion and everything like that of Bulldog Cartage. And so,
yeah.
and right
Well,
now we're hiring go ahead. Sorry.
No, go on. Finish.
We're hiring a operations manager right now, and I anticipate, them hiring more drivers and different things like that. So if you know anybody in the Indianapolis area that possibly could be looking for a position, that could be a potential and, here within the Chicagoland area. So if anybody that would be interested working for Bulldog, I'm sure that they'll be posting job opportunities. So yes.
That's great. Well, it sounds like you got in at the right time. During the slow season, it's a great time to learn the business so that you're ready to
Yes.
shift into high gear when business gets crazy and gets really hectic.
Yes.
You'll be a seasoned veteran at that point, and you'll be clicking on all cylinders. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I'm very excited to
That's
see
good.
what's to come. So
Well, that's great. And
yes.
I'm, again, I love talking to small businesses, and that's one of the reasons I do this podcast is because I'm really passionate about small businesses. I own a small business as well, which is the Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. I had another small business prior to this, and I've always loved small businesses, and it really is the foundation of our country. Our country was really formed on small businesses, entrepreneurs going out and serving a need, finding a need and serving it. And so I like to celebrate that, and I like to help businesses grow. And so I'm hoping that some of our listeners could maybe benefit from the services that you offer. So I really encourage them to reach out to you, Nicole, to find out more and see how you can be a part of their needs. Um, share your contact information with our listeners again. The best way for them to reach out to you.
So you can reach me directly at 331-343-1551. And then you can reach me at my email, which is npaez@bulldogcartage.com, which is spelled NPAEZ @bulldogcartage.com.
That's awesome. Well, very good. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. Any other stories you want to share with our listeners before we wrap up the show today?
Oh, what stories can I tell you? What kind of goodies? Give me an example of what you want to hear about. Just tell me what
Well,
you want to.
I don't know if there's anything else that you any other successes that you may have had, or some opportunities that you might be working on that somebody would say, "Oh, I haven't thought of that before." Or did you share everything that you
So
kind of touch on?
I mean, the opportunities I basically feel like at Bulldog the sky is the limit, with basically how we're able to evolve for our clients and everything like that. I mean, that alone in itself is just a huge success, and being able to, evolve and learn from our clients, and being able to ask the right questions of
Mhm.
how can we help, and how can we make a difference, and how we make the impact on everyday situations. Some of some of the clients that I go to, that I'm prospecting, and they say, well, we're already, using this company XYZ, and, maybe one day we'll give you a call. And then, if someone calls me on a Saturday and says, I have an emergency for Monday and my guy can't handle it, is this something you could do? Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll be able to take care of, these types of situations. And sometimes some clients, that's, how I feel like I'll be able to obtain them, be able
Sure.
to show them in case if they're an emergency and we got your back, we'll be able to handle whatever it is that you need. And I think that's what, to me, it makes my job here very enjoyable, just knowing that, what a customer needs that I'll be able to kind of see if I can help them out. I never want to tell a
Right.
client, no, we can't do this. Right.
Right.
So that's kind of what makes my job enjoyable. So.
Yeah, that's great. And the companies that you typically prospect and you work with, obviously they're general contractors. Do you work with some
So we deal,
subcontractors as well?
yeah, so we deal hand in hand with subcontractors, sometimes on, even like self-performing GCs or GCs that just want to oversee the project, or developers that are overseeing the project and they want to store their, owner, you know, they own the equipment and so we're storing it for them.
Sure.
So, sometimes it just makes it a little bit easier with the PO, the purchase orders on different things, right? So,
Sure.
essentially, I guess that's kind of how it ends up working out with, how we're working in the construction aspect of things. But as far as like the, events equipment and the packing equipment and the food industry equipment that we do store, I mean, normally we're just dealing directly with those clients.
Mhm.
And we're just,
Okay.
the different types of packing equipment that we handle, within our warehouses
Great.
for the different type, so it's not just specifically construction logistics. It's more along the lines of like being able to handle that storage need. Whoever is running out of space or needs to store something will store it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
have
could I could actually
train engines
yeah.
in our headquarters. We have train engines and different things like this that need to be offloaded with the cranes and that are transported by flatbeds. So that's really the real reason why we have the crane bays, is because we have all these flatbeds, and that's kind of what we handle on an everyday to day basis. But we do have van trailers and different equipment that can handle hauling things that don't need crane picks and everything like that. I mean, that's why we have 3 other warehouses that are just offloading things from and reloading things on trucks with forklifts.
Interesting. So a smaller company that's growing rapidly that may be out of storage for their excess supplies, they could store them in your
Yes.
warehouse, even if they're not in the construction business. They're just a growing company that doesn't have enough storage space.
Yes, exactly. Even one in Elk Grove, not too far, is a manufacturer, and sometimes their production is going so fast that they actually have to stop production because the equipment and what they're selling isn't shipped out fast enough. So this is
Hmm.
where we come into play, because we're able to pick up their materials, bring them
Sure.
and store them, and then bring them to wherever they need them to go when they need them, right? So,
So they can keep
that's why I like the pickup
producing.
and deliveries. I'm sorry,
So they
what'd
can
you
keep
say?
producing their product. They can keep manufacturing their product and not worry about storing it until it
Yes.
gets shipped out. So then you're like an intermediary storage facility, and they can coordinate the
Yes.
shipping from
Yes.
there. Well, that's brilliant. And
Yeah.
from a manufacturing standpoint, um, every hour your machines sit idle waiting, you're losing money. So those machines
Exactly.
got to keep running
Exactly.
24 hours a day to maximize the return and grow the business. So that's
Yes.
fascinating. I hadn't thought about that aspect of it. That's why I was kind of probing a little bit, because I think about what you do from a standpoint of uh, construction, general contractors, subcontractors, but even a manufacturing company that has run out of space is a
Yes.
valuable resource or a valuable prospect for you. You could be a resource to them.
Yes. Very much reliable. We're a reliable resource. I mean, they know what we're storing. We take inventory of it. A lot of our project managers, they love the inventory aspect of what we're receiving. Especially when you think about it at a job site, all this stuff gets delivered, right? And it goes into one of these mobile holders or anything like this. Is there really someone that's as thorough as we are, that's taking the inventory of everything, and what you have and what's there, right? I mean, you're basically just eliminating that step for yourself in the process because we're doing it for
Right.
you.
Right. That's awesome. Well, great story, Nicole. Thank you for sharing that information. And to our listeners, I'm hoping that some of these examples that Nicole is sharing, resonate with you, and you can think about how Bulldog Cartage might help your business as it's growing. If you happen to be in a situation where you're out of space and you need to store some stuff, that's remarkable. I think that's great. Well, we're going to wrap the show up here. Any final comments you want to make?
I just
Any
want
other
to say
shout
thank you
outs you
so
want?
much to you. Just want to say thank you so much to you for this is my first podcast experience. So you've just been so amazing with giving me this opportunity that I just want to make a shout out to you for this. And I really value you as a colleague, and I look forward to, hopefully working with you and being able to send you referrals and everything like that.
Absolutely. I actually have somebody in mind that I want to introduce you to,
Okay.
that could potentially benefit from your storage, because I know they're tight on space, and they're not too far from
They're
you in
busting at the
Addison.
seams.
So yeah. But let me work on that with you offline. But yeah,
Okay.
thank you for being with us and joining us and sharing your story. And I'm hoping that our listeners can reach out to you and get a few phone calls and see if it helps you grow your business. So
Thank you so much.
so yeah, so let me as we wrap this up, let me transition. I was about to throw a quick little plug in for my business, Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. We happen to work with businesses that own commercial vehicles. We help these businesses enhance their growth and profit through using our GPS tracking technology. We take a very focused approach on, and actually not much different than Bulldog, in that we really try to solve the needs of the customer and design our solution to meet their needs. I don't want to fit the customer into a tight box that we've built. We are very flexible in working with our clients to make it right for them. If we can provide value, we certainly want to do that and be flexible in that regard. So if you happen to own a business and you happen to have commercial vehicles, or you have assets that would be trailers, skid steers, bobcats, Kubotas, John Deere mowers, those kinds of assets, and you're concerned about theft, reach out to Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. Allow us to have a conversation with you about what we do and how it might help you, and see if it's a fit. You can find us at our website, which is precisefleettracking.com. That's precisefleettracking.com. Or call us at 847-865-6008. It's 847-865-6008. Have a quick conversation, see if it's a fit, and see if it makes sense for you. So thank you for tuning in this week again. We encourage you to share this podcast with your circles of influence. Share it on your social media platforms and get the word out. And certainly, if you need the services of Nicole at Bulldog Cartage, I really encourage you to reach out to her as well. Nicole, your phone number one more time.
331-343-1551.
Great. So reach out to Nicole if you need her services. And in the meantime, we wish you the best this week, and we will be in touch with you again next week with another new guest. So make it a great week, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to I Got a Guy podcast. For past podcasts and more information, go to igotaguypodcast.com. That's igotaguypodcast.com. Please share this podcast on your social media feeds and tune in again next week to I Got a Guy podcast.